She called her trash, screamed at her to get out of first class, said people like her belonged in the back. But when her baby stopped breathing at 35,000 feet, that same woman would fall to her knees, begging the child she'd just humiliated to save her son's life. What happened next changed everything. This is the story of how one act of kindness defeated a lifetime of prejudice. Before we dive in, if you believe in the power of kindness and second chances, hit that subscribe button. Stories like this deserve to be heard. Now let's begin. It's 6:30 on a gray February morning at Heathrow Airport, and the world is just waking up. Terminal 5 hums with the usual chaos. Rolling suitcases, crying babies, the smell of overpriced coffee mixing with jet fuel. Gate 47 is boarding flight BA 723 to Geneva, Switzerland, and in the middle of all that noise stands a girl who barely reaches anyone's shoulders. Her name is Amara Okonkwo. She's 12 years old, 4'9", and wearing her late father's gray hoodie that swallows her whole. In her purple backpack, she carries 3 published medical research papers, an invitation from Geneva University Hospital, and something precious, her father's silver stethoscope. Engraved on the case are 4 words that have become her lifeline. Heal with love, Dad. The gate agent scans Amara's boarding pass, and her eyebrows shoot up like she's just seen something impossible. First class love. Her voice carries doubt wrapped in politeness. Are you quite sure? Yes, ma'am, Amara replies quietly. Her voice is steady but small. Always small. Traveling with an adult, are we? No, ma'am. I have my unaccompanied minor documentation right here. Amara hands over a perfectly organized folder. Everything is in order. Everything is correct. Everything has to be perfect when you're a 12-year-old black girl traveling alone. The agent studies the papers like she's searching for a mistake, some proof that this doesn't add up. Her expression says what her mouth won't. This can't be right. But it is right. So she finally nods and waves Amara through. First class is a different universe. Soft leather seats that smell like expensive things. Warm golden lighting that makes everything feel important. Only 8 seats total, and each one costs more than Amara's mother makes in a month. She finds her seat, 2B by the window, and settles in carefully, like she's afraid to take up too much space. She pulls out her tablet and opens a medical journal. Advances in detecting adrenal crisis in infants under 1 year. The words swim across the screen, complex and beautiful. This is her world. This is where she belongs. But the white businessman in row 1 glances at her and quickly looks away. The elderly woman in row 3 clutches her handbag a little tighter. Amara pretends not to notice. She's had practice pretending. Then, 10 minutes later, chaos arrives wearing Chanel. Gabrielle Vandermeer sweeps into first class like a storm system. Designer diaper bag over one shoulder, screaming 11-month-old baby in her other arm, phone pressed against her ear. She's Dutch, early 40s, with the kind of sharp beauty that's been polished by power and money. Yes, Martin, the Geneva Gala tonight, she barks into her phone. 70,000 euro donation. Photos with sick children. Excellent press. She jiggles her son mechanically, annoyed by his crying. Lucas, stop it. What? Oh, I fired the nanny yesterday. Too expensive. The baby's screams intensify, desperate and piercing. Gabrielle barely seems to notice. She stops at row 2, seat 2A, right next to Amara. Her eyes land on the small black girl in the oversized hoodie, and her expression freezes. Then it sours, like she's just tasted something rotten. Excuse me. Her voice cuts through the cabin noise. I think there's been some sort of mistake. Amara looks up from her tablet. Ma'am, this is first class, darling. Yes, ma'am. I'm in seat 2B. You're in first class. Gabrielle's voice rises, disbelief dripping from every word. Where exactly are your parents? My father passed away 3 years ago. My mother is working in London. So you're traveling alone. In first class. She says it like it's an accusation. How convenient. Geneva University Hospital purchased my ticket, ma'am. I'm presenting at a pediatric medical conference. Gabrielle's laugh is sharp enough to cut. A medical conference? You? How wonderfully creative. She spins around, scanning for help. Flight attendant. Flight attendant. A young woman appears, Elena, her name tag says. She looks overwhelmed before she even opens her mouth. Yes, Ms. Vandermeer? There's been a ticketing error. This child is sitting in first class. Alone. I need this resolved immediately. Elena glances at Amara with an apologetic expression. Ma'am, if I could just. I am Gabrielle Vandermeer, member of the European Parliament Transport Committee. Her voice is ice-cold authority. I know the regulations. Unaccompanied minors do not fly first class. Especially not. She stops herself, but everyone hears the word she doesn't say. Amara's hands tighten around her tablet. Her father's voice echoes in her mind. Stay calm, my dear. Stay dignified. Never let them see you break. Elena scans Amara's boarding pass once, then twice. Ms. Vandermeer, this ticket is confirmed first class, paid in full by Geneva University Hospital. Everything is completely in order. That's impossible. Gabrielle's face flushes red. Look at her. Does she look like she belongs here? In row 4, a man quietly pulls out his phone. His name is Laurent Dubois, a journalist for Le Monde. He's seen this before. He knows exactly what's happening. He starts recording. Baby Lucas's crying reaches a fever pitch. His little body arches in distress. Gabrielle grips him tighter, frustration radiating off her like heat. Fine. Fine. She drops into seat 2A, still on her phone. But if anything goes missing from my bag, I'm holding this airline personally responsible. You know how these people are. Ma'am, Elena tries to interrupt. I'm not racist, I'm practical. Statistics don't lie. Gabrielle waves her off dismissively. Now can I please get a vodka tonic? I cannot deal with this situation sober. Amara turns toward the window. Her reflection stares back at her. A small girl trying to make herself even smaller. Her eyes burn with unshed tears, but she won't cry. She's had practice not crying too. She opens her medical journal and tries to focus. Behind her, Laurent's phone keeps recording. And in Gabrielle's arms, baby Lucas's screaming begins to change. Weaker now, more desperate. Nobody notices yet. The plane pushes back from the gate. The cabin door seals with a heavy, final thunk. There's no escape now. And in 8 minutes, everything is going to change. The plane levels off at 35,000 feet. The seatbelt sign blinks off with a soft chime, and first class settles into an uneasy quiet. Well, except for baby Lucas, whose screaming hasn't stopped since boarding. Gabrielle Vandermeer finally puts down her phone and tries to settle him. His face is deep crimson, his little fists clenched tight. She fumbles with a bottle of formula, shoving it toward his mouth. He turns his head away weakly. Lucas, for God's sake. She tries again. He bats the bottle away with a tiny hand. Formula spills across her Chanel suit. Perfect. Just perfect. Her voice drips with venom. She looks directly at Amara. This is your fault. If I wasn't so distracted by this absurd situation. Amara says nothing. She keeps her eyes on her tablet, reading about sodium retention in infants with adrenal insufficiency. But the words are blurring now. Her hands are shaking. The businessman in row 1 leans over with a sympathetic smile. Ms. Vandermeer, I have to say, I completely agree with you. Airline standards have truly gone downhill. First class used to mean something. Thank you. Gabrielle's voice warms immediately. Finally, someone with sense. I mean, look at her. She doesn't even lower her voice. 12 years old in first class. Please. We all know what's really happening here. The elderly woman in row 3 nods along. My granddaughter is 12. I would never allow her to fly alone like this. It's not proper. It's not safe, Gabrielle adds pointedly. Who knows what kind of family situation? She cuts herself off with false delicacy. Well, we can all imagine. Amara's jaw tightens. She keeps her eyes fixed on her screen, but the words have stopped making sense. The flight attendants begin the safety demonstration. Gabrielle ignores it completely, scrolling through her phone while Lucas writhes miserably in her other arm. Elena. Gabrielle snaps her fingers like she's calling a dog. My vodka tonic? Right away, ma'am. The drink arrives. Gabrielle takes a long swallow, then turns her attention back to Amara with the focused cruelty of someone who's had just enough alcohol to say what they really think. So, Geneva University Hospital, was it? Her smile is poisonous. Tell me, sweetie, what exactly does a child do at a hospital? File papers? Fetch coffee. Amara looks up. Her voice is quiet, measured. I'm a junior medical researcher in the pediatric endocrinology department. I study rare diseases in infants. Gabrielle's laugh is loud enough to turn heads in economy. Oh, this is gold. A researcher. At 12. And let me guess, you're some kind of genius? A prodigy. I've published 3 papers on infant adrenal insufficiency. With my father, before he passed away. Your father, the doctor. Gabrielle's tone makes it clear she doesn't believe a single word. How convenient that he's not here to verify any of this fantasy. Amara's hand moves to her backpack, touching the stethoscope case through the fabric. He died 3 years ago. Pancreatic cancer. Stage 4. Oh, sweetie. Gabrielle's voice drips with fake sympathy. I'm sure that's a very sad little story. But making up credentials to get free tickets? That's fraud. That's criminal. I'm not lying. Then prove it. Show me these supposed papers you wrote. Amara hesitates. She could pull out the printed copies right now. Show the peer-reviewed journals. Show the official invitation signed by Dr. Elizabeth Fournier, Chief of Pediatrics. But something in Gabrielle's eyes tells her the truth. It won't matter. This woman doesn't want evidence. She wants to be right. I don't need to prove anything to you, ma'am. Huh? Gabrielle turns to the businessman. Did you hear that? I don't need to prove anything. That's what they all say when they're caught in a lie. Elena returns, trying to de-escalate. Ms. Vandermeer, perhaps. Let me tell you something about the real world, darling. Gabrielle's words are getting looser, meaner. The vodka is working. People like you don't get to be researchers. You don't get to sit in first class. You don't get to skip the line just because you tell some sob story about your dead daddy. The cabin goes deathly silent. Even the flight attendants have frozen. There's an order to things, Gabrielle continues, gesturing with her glass. And you're out of order. Better you learn that now before you waste everyone's time pretending to be something you're. And then it happens. Baby Lucas goes completely limp in her arms. His screaming cuts off mid-wail. Just stops. His little body sags like a doll. His lips, which had been bright red from crying, start turning pale. Gabrielle barely notices. She's on a roll now, her face flushed with vodka and righteousness. What really bothers me is that people like you make people like me look bad. I vote for personal responsibility. I vote for people to earn their own. Ma'am. Amara's voice is different now. Urgent. Sharp. Ma'am, your baby. Don't you dare tell me about my. Gabrielle finally looks down at Lucas. His lips aren't just pale anymore. They're turning blue. His chest is moving too fast, too shallow. His eyes are unfocused, rolling back slightly. His little hand hangs limp, and on his wrist, visible now for the first time, is a medical alert bracelet. 3 letters engraved in silver, CAH. Amara sees it. Her blood turns to ice water. Ma'am, she says carefully, when did Lucas last eat? What? Gabrielle's voice is rising now, panic creeping in. I don't this morning, I think. I don't know. The nanny usually. Does he take medication? Daily medication. What are you, Elena? Gabrielle's scream pierces the cabin. Elena, something's wrong with my baby. Lucas's breathing is getting worse. Rapid, gasping, desperate. His skin is going from pale to grayish. Amara unbuckles her seatbelt. The plane is still at cruising altitude. Ma'am, I need you to listen very carefully. Her voice has changed completely, calm, clinical, steady. Your son has CH. Congenital adrenal hyperplasia. That bracelet, you know what it means, right? Gabrielle stares at her. Then at the bracelet. Then back at Amara. Her face is completely blank. You don't know. Amara's voice goes flat with disbelief. You don't even know what disease your own son has. The doctor said it was manageable. The nanny handles all his medications. When did your nanny quit? Gabrielle's face drains of color. 2 days ago. But I didn't think, he can't have missed that many doses. He's dehydrated from the flight. Stressed. Probably fighting an infection. Amara's voice is clinical now, detached. Professional. He's going into Addisonian crisis. His adrenal system is shutting down. If we don't treat him in the next 8 to 10 minutes, his heart will stop. The cabin goes absolutely silent. Every single person is staring. Gabrielle looks at this 12-year-old child she just spent 20 minutes humiliating, degrading, attacking. And then she does something she has probably never done before in her entire life. She begs. Help him, she whispers. Please. Please help my baby. Amara stands frozen. Every eye in first class is on her. The businessman speaks up, voice shaking. Ms. Vandermeer, you cannot seriously be asking a child. Shut up. Gabrielle's voice cracks with pure terror. She looks at Amara, tears streaming down her face. Please. Please save him. The plane's engines roar. They're miles from any hospital. Elena runs to the cockpit. The pilot's voice crackles overhead. Ladies and gentlemen, we are returning to Heathrow due to a medical emergency. Please remain seated. The plane banks slowly. Too slowly. Amara looks at the clock on the bulkhead. He doesn't have time. 8 minutes or his heart stops. Then do something. Gabrielle thrusts Lucas toward her desperately. Amara's hands shake as she takes him. He's so light. His skin is cool and mottled. His breathing is rapid and shallow, barely there. Elena, medical kit. Now. You can't, you're just a... The elderly woman stands, voice trembling. This is insane. She's a child. And by the time we land, he'll be dead. Amara's voice suddenly fills the entire cabin with authority beyond her years. Elena runs. Amara cradles Lucas, fingers on his tiny wrist. Pulse thready. Racing. She opens his mouth, mucous membranes dry pale. Presses his fontanelle, sunken. Tachycardia, hypotension, severe dehydration, she murmurs. Addisonian crisis. What does that mean? Gabrielle sobs. His body can't produce cortisol. Without it, his adrenal system shuts down. He goes into shock. Then cardiac arrest. Oh God, what do we do? Elena returns with the red medical kit. Amara opens it with shaking hands. Stethoscope. Gauze. Bandages. And there, 2 vials of injectable hydrocortisone. For asthma attacks, the label says. But it'll work. It has to work. Maya sets Lucas across the seats. She pulls out her father's silver stethoscope, the one she's carried for 3 years, and presses it to his tiny chest. Heart rate 180. Breath sounds shallow. She looks up at the adults staring at her. The businessman who questioned her. The elderly woman who clutched her purse. Gabrielle, who called her a liar and a fraud. And Laurent in row 4, still recording everything. Amara's hands shake violently. She studied this. Written papers. Reviewed 47 case studies. But she's never treated a real patient. She's 12 years old. What if she's wrong? I can't, she whispers. I'm not certified. I'm just... Gabrielle grips her shoulder, desperate. You're the only person who knows what's wrong. Please. Please save my baby. Amara looks down at Lucas. His eyes are rolling back. His breathing is barely visible now. Her father's voice fills her head, clear as day. In an emergency, my dear, your hands can shake. But your mind must stay steady. Trust what I taught you. Amara's hands stop shaking. She draws up the hydrocortisone with steady fingers. 0.25 milliliters. 25 milligrams. Elena, call the gate. Tell them we need paramedics with for saline and glucose. Pediatric transport. Addisonian crisis, 11-month-old male, approximately 10 kilograms. CAH patient missed doses. Elena radios immediately, voice shaking. Amara finds the injection site on Lucas's tiny thigh. Wipes it with alcohol. The entire cabin holds its breath. This will save you, little one, she whispers. She pushes the needle in. Lucas doesn't even flinch. He's too far gone. Amara depresses the plunger slowly, steadily. Withdraws. Applies pressure. Hydrocortisone administered. 25 milligrams intramuscular. Time, 07:43. How long? Gabrielle whispers. 2 to 5 minutes. And if it doesn't work? Amara doesn't answer. She just dabs apple juice on Lucas's lips, trying to raise his blood sugar. Come on, Lucas, she whispers. Stay with us. Stay. The plane drops altitude fast, turning hard back toward Heathrow. And everyone waits. 2 minutes feel like 2 hours. Amara kneels beside Lucas, her fingers pressed to his tiny wrist, counting heartbeats that are too fast, too weak. Gabrielle is frozen beside her, one hand covering her mouth, the other gripping the armrest so hard her knuckles have gone white. The entire cabin is silent except for the roar of the engines and the pilot's calm voice announcing their emergency descent. Then a flutter. Lucas's eyelids twitch. His chest rises just a little deeper. His lips, those terrifying blue lips, start to fade back toward pink. He's responding, Amara breathes. His color's improving. Gabrielle lets out a sound that's half sob, half prayer. 30 seconds later, Lucas takes a stronger breath. Then another. His little fingers curl slightly. His eyes focus, just for a moment, on his mother's face. Oh God, Gabrielle whispers. Oh God, he's breathing. He's breathing. The plane touches down hard at Heathrow. Before it even reaches the gate, the door is opening and paramedics flood in with equipment, moving fast and professional. Where's the patient? The lead paramedic, Rodriguez, his badge says, scans the cabin. Here. Amara's voice is steady. Rodriguez looks down, sees Lucas, then sees Amara, 12 years old, holding a used syringe, her father's stethoscope around her neck. Who are you? He asks, confused. Amara Okonkwo, junior medical researcher, Geneva University Hospital, pediatric endocrinology. I administered 25 milligrams of hydrocortisone intramuscular 90 seconds ago for Addisonian crisis. Rodriguez stares at her, then at his partner. Something passes between them, shock, maybe respect. Get the 4 kit, he says quietly. Pediatric line. Glucose drip. Within seconds, they have Lucas stabilized. 4 in. Fluids running. Blood pressure? Rodriguez asks. 60/40. Critical. Glucose level? A finger prick. A test. 42. Severe hypoglycemia. Increase glucose concentration to D10. Rodriguez looks back at Amara. His expression has completely changed. You bought him time, kid. Probably saved his life. That was good work. Really good work. They lift Lucas onto the gurney. Gabrielle tries to follow, still crying. Ma'am, Rodriguez says gently. Does he have other conditions? Medications? Allergies? Gabrielle opens her mouth. Closes it. She looks utterly lost. I don't know. The nanny usually handles. He is CH, Amara says quietly. Congenital adrenal hyperplasia, salt-wasting type. Daily hydrocortisone maintenance, probably fludrocortisone as well for mineralocorticoid replacement. The paramedic writes it all down, then looks at Amara with something like awe. You got all that from a bracelet? And the symptoms? Rodriguez shakes his head slowly. How old are you? 12. Jesus Christ. He holds out his fist. Amara bumps it, her hand tiny against his. You're going to be one hell of a doctor someday, kid. They will Lucas away. Gabrielle follows, then suddenly stops. Turns back. She looks at Amara for a long, silent moment. Her makeup is ruined. Her expensive suit is stained. She looks nothing like the powerful politician who boarded this plane. She looks like a mother who almost lost everything. Thank you, she whispers. Barely audible. Then she's gone. The first-class cabin is dead silent. Amara stands there, her father's stethoscope still around her neck, her hands smudged with antiseptic, her eyes burning but dry. The businessman in row 1 clears his throat. Looks at his shoes. I apologize. For earlier. I was completely wrong. The elderly woman is crying openly. Sweetheart, I'm so sorry. We should have believed you. We should have listened. But Amara isn't looking at them. She's staring at the empty space where Lucas was, where she held a dying baby and made a choice that could have killed him if she'd been wrong. Her legs suddenly feel weak. Elena catches her arm. Hey, you okay? I need to sit. Elena guides her back to 2B. Amara collapses into the seat, her whole body shaking now that the adrenaline is fading. You were incredible, Elena whispers. I've been flying for 12 years. I've never seen anything like that. Amara doesn't respond. She just stares at her trembling hands. Laurent from row 4 approaches, crouches beside her seat. Hey, I'm Laurent Dubois. Le Monde newspaper. I recorded everything that happened. From the moment Ms. Vandermeer started yelling at you until the paramedics took Lucas. Amara looks up, exhausted. Okay, I want to publish it, but I need your permission first. She shakes her head. I don't want to be famous. I just want to do my work. I understand, but here's something you should know. Laurent's voice drops. 3 months ago, Gabrielle Vandermeer voted against expanding child health care coverage across the EU. She called it fiscal irresponsibility. She said poor families were exploiting the system. He pauses, letting that sink in. She pushes policies that literally prevent kids from getting the medicine they need. And then you, a 12-year-old girl she treated like garbage, saved her son's life with the exact kind of medical knowledge she votes against funding. Amara is quiet for a long moment. Then, will it help other children? Kids who get dismissed because of how they look? Yes. Then okay. But tell my father's story too. I want people to know why this matters. Laurent extends his hand. Amara shakes it. Deal. 3 days later. The video has gone viral. 12 million views and climbing. It's on every news channel, every social media platform, every conversation. Gabrielle Vandermeer's world is collapsing. Calls for her resignation. Donors pulling funding. Her political career hanging by a thread. And then, at Geneva Airport, it happens. Amara is walking through arrivals with Dr. Elizabeth Fournier when she sees her. Gabrielle Vandermeer is standing there, waiting. She looks nothing like the polished politician from the plane. Her hair is pulled back in a simple ponytail. No makeup. Just a mother who's been sitting in a hospital for 3 days. Amara, she says. Please. I need to talk to you. Dr. Fournier steps protectively closer, but Amara nods. It's okay. Gabrielle takes a shaky breath. Lucas is stable. The doctors say, they say if you'd waited 3 more minutes, he would have gone into cardiac arrest. They said your diagnosis was perfect. Your treatment was perfect. She pauses, tears filling her eyes. They said you knew more about his condition than I did. His own mother. Silence. I didn't know what CAH was, Gabrielle whispers. Not really. The pediatrician told me when Lucas was 6 months old. Said it was manageable. Gave me prescriptions. I hired a nanny to handle the medications. I never learned. Never thought I needed to. Your nanny quit 2 days ago, Amara says quietly. I didn't think it mattered. I didn't know he'd missed doses. Didn't recognize the symptoms even though he's had this diagnosis for months. Gabrielle's voice breaks. A 12-year-old stranger knew how to save my son better than I did. Tears stream down her face. And the worst part, the absolute worst, is that I stood on that plane and treated you like you were worthless. Like you didn't belong. Like you were nothing. She's sobbing now. When the truth is you're everything I should have been. Smart. Prepared. Caring. You knew my son's condition better than I did. You cared about his life more than I did in that moment. Amara stands very still. Airport travelers are staring. Security is hovering. This is the moment where she could destroy this woman. Publicly shame her. Refuse forgiveness. It would be justified. But Amara looks at Gabrielle and sees something she recognizes, fear. The same fear that was on her father's face when the doctors said there was no more treatment. The same fear she felt holding that syringe over Lucas's tiny leg. The fear of failing the person you love most. Your son is alive, Amara says quietly. That's what matters. Because of you. Because I had knowledge you didn't. Not because I'm better. Because I spent 3 years studying the disease that killed my father, and I couldn't stand to watch another child suffer when I could help. Gabrielle's face crumples. Your father, Professor David Okonkwo, pediatric endocrinologist, died 3 years ago from pancreatic cancer, stage 4. Diagnosed too late because the public hospital where he worked couldn't afford proper screening. Amara pulls out her tablet, shows Gabrielle a document she's carried for 3 years. He spent his last months trying to get funding for research that would help children like Lucas. Children in poor communities. Children whose parents can't afford private specialists. Your family foundation denied him. Gabrielle reads the rejection letter, hands shaking. The Vandermeer Foundation for Medical Innovation. Denied. Reason, not commercially viable. Oh my God, she breathes. My father could have developed screening that would have caught Lucas's CAH earlier. Could have educated parents, all parents, not just wealthy ones, about warning signs. Could have saved thousands of children. Amara's voice is steady, but there are tears in her eyes now. But your foundation decided that wasn't profitable enough. I didn't know, Gabrielle whispers. I swear I didn't. You didn't want to know. Just like with Lucas's CH. Easier to let someone else handle the hard stuff. Easier to make decisions about funding when you don't have to look at the faces of the people your decisions hurt. Gabrielle is openly sobbing now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Your father, Lucas, you all of it. I'm sorry. Amara watches her for a long moment. Then she says something that will be quoted for years to come. I don't need you to be sorry. I need you to be better. Gabrielle looks up, tears streaming. Go back to Brussels and vote differently. Look at children like me and see human beings instead of statistics. Fund research that saves lives instead of research that makes profits. Be the mother to all children that you should have been to Lucas. Silence falls between them. Then Gabrielle nods. I will. I swear to you I will. Good. Amara starts to walk away, then stops. And Ms. Vandermeer? Learn what CAH means. Learn his medication schedule. Learn the warning signs. Be his mother. Not his nanny's employer. His mother. Gabrielle is still crying when Amara walks away. 6 months later. The video has been viewed 47 million times. It inspired a documentary. Amara declined to participate. It sparked healthcare policy reform in 7 European countries. It saved countless lives. But the most important change happened quietly. Gabrielle Vandermeer wrote a check for 7 million euros. The Professor David Okonkwo Memorial Research Grant, funding affordable diagnostic tools for rare pediatric diseases in underserved communities. She voted yes on expanded EU healthcare funding, shocking her political allies. She lost donors, faced backlash, and she didn't care anymore. Because 3 weeks ago, the first research project funded by that grant completed trials, a rapid diagnostic test for adrenal insufficiency in infants. It costs €11 to manufacture. Any healthcare provider can administer it. In its first 6 months, it saved 52 children. Professor Okonkwo's dream became reality. And in Geneva, Amara walks through the halls of the university hospital wearing a white coat with her name embroidered on it. Amara R. Okonkwo, junior medical researcher. She's 13 now, the youngest researcher in the hospital's history. Dr. Fournier smiles at her. Ready to change the world? Amara touches her father's stethoscope, still around her neck. I already started. In Brussels, in Gabrielle's home, there's a photo on the wall. Lucas with Amara, taken at the hospital 6 months ago. Beneath it, a handwritten note. Dear Lucas, your life matters. Not because of who your mother is or how much money your family has. Just because you're you. Never forget that. With kindness, Amara. Gabrielle reads it every morning. A reminder of what she almost lost and what kindness gave her the chance to become. So what's the lesson here? Amara could have refused. She could have let hatred win. After everything Gabrielle said, after being humiliated and dismissed and called a liar, she could have said no. And no one would have blamed her. But she chose kindness. Even when it wasn't deserved. Even when it hurt. That choice saved a life. Changed a heart. And started a ripple that saved dozens more children. Here's what I want you to think about. Who have you dismissed lately? Who did you judge before listening? Because the person you overlooked today might be the one who saves you tomorrow. Amara was 12 years old. She was underestimated, insulted, and treated like she didn't belong. But she proved that kindness isn't weakness. It's the strongest thing we have. Intelligence doesn't have an age limit. Compassion doesn't have a color. And the child sitting next to you might just be the one who changes the world. Never forget that. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment and tell me, when did someone's kindness change your life? When did you choose kindness when it wasn't easy? Let's spread more stories like Amara's. Because the world doesn't need more judgment. It needs more kindness. It needs more people willing to see past the surface and recognize the extraordinary in the unexpected. Thank you for watching. And remember, never underestimate anyone. You never know who might save your life.